is probably made up of me and One Direction fans because of when I occasionally click on those videos, I suppose.
Do you sometimes get nostalgic? Because I know a lot of fans do.
That happens all the time. To be honest, like you kind of got to be in the mood for it. Pretty crazy journey for me. Um, so yeah, it's more just said with ready to write this record. I think, and I feel in a really good place at the moment. An emotional guy. I've always been quite a romantic guy. I'd like to think, but I think to get deep for a second, the question of who you are as an artist and what your identity is and what your voice is. Um, that's basically a metaphor for you working who you are as a person. Your depth of thought. I love how much you've thought about the records.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for doing this. And also, we are meeting again exactly after a year. So I just feel very, very happy about that.
Oh,
And the
we should
fact,
make it an anniversary.
yes, and the fact that you are also coming back finally with an album. I'm so happy. And I know a lot of fans in India are very happy, Louis. I don't know if you've seen it already, but already promotions have started where people are sharing their story about how did they get there
Love
in their
that.
lives. So I want to know from you, one, is it an expression when you say, how did I get there, the title, or is it more like a question, like, how the hell did I get here? Like, what is it for you?
It's it's a tricky one in my head. It's more a statement. I'd say it's more a statement of like awe and just looking around and kind of not believe in disbelief, you know. Um, but it's also a question that I don't think I'll ever have the answer to, really. You know, it's been a pretty crazy journey for me. So yeah, it's more just said with gratitude, looking around me with gratitude and a little bit of wonder.
Can I answer it for you? Because
Go on.
I feel like you have done everything right to be able to be where you are, and you are doing amazing because I heard the album. I have to say, I really see a lot of evolution for you as a solo artist in this album. But was it difficult to get here? Because I remember hearing Faith in Future, and I was just like, oh my God, Lou is really like, he's taking one day at a time at that point, and there was a lot of optimism. But this is slightly more like fun on the other end, and I'm very happy to hear that. But did it take a little while to come to terms with that and just like feel happy to be sharing a happy album?
Oh, I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, I think like I've always been a quite an autobiographical and honest writer. So, yeah, my metaphorically, my days had to get a little bit sunnier before I was ready to write this record, I think. And I feel in a really good place at the moment. It was really important for me that that came across on the record. Um, because a lot of my fans have been with me through a lot of this journey, and I think it's important for them to know a how good I'm feeling, but also a part of that is a massive thanks to them, and taking so much pride in my success and my job, etc. um so yeah, they can also take some ownership in my happiness for sure.
I think they already do because I have to tell you, in India, lemonade, people are really having posters of lemonade in their own way. They're promoting it, and at lemonade shops, like we in India, we do have these small street style shops, right? And they are really like putting in posters there for your
Love
album,
that.
and I think that's really wonderful. But that also tells me, this album also tells me that Louis, you're finally ready to accept love in your life, which I feel like you had blocked for a while because of everything that you went through in the last couple of years. Am I correct in my assessment, or would you want to correct me there?
To be honest, it's not like I've always been quite an emotional guy. I've always been quite a romantic guy, I'd like to think. But I think to get deep for a second, it's probably more about loving myself.
True.
That's probably the thing really, where I'm kind of feeling good and happy in myself and allowing myself these opportunities, allowing myself to write these songs, allowing myself to kind of feel the way that I do in a good way. So I think that would probably explain it a little better, I imagine. But
Yeah,
also, I'm also in a really happy place in my life as well. So that
touch
obviously,
wood on that. I have to say, Sanity is one of my favorite song in the album because I
uh,
think I instantly vibed with the song. Um, which is your favorite song to write, and which was the most challenging one to write in this album?
It's funny you say about Sanity because I've got this really funny relationship with that song. It's like it's become like a guilty pleasure for me because like at first I think because it's not quite got like the brash energy of something like Jump the Gun on the record, which is always a song that I'm gonna really like. It became kind of this song that I was like loving to hate in kind of a playful, funny way. And I just won't go away. Every time I listen to it, I find myself popping to it. I find myself
I
smoking.
know. Yeah.
So yeah, that I've been completely converted by that song. But my the song that makes me like feel really proud that it's on the record would probably be like a Sunflowers, because that's something that sonically it's a place that I haven't really been before, and it was a moment in the writing process where once we'd written Sunflowers, it kind of unlocked this whole little area that then Lazy happened, and there was another song, maybe Imposter, off the back of that. So, yeah, that was a really exciting time in the process.
Absolutely. I think I agree with what you say about Sanity. It is a song that is almost like a guilty pleasure because you're vibing to it, but you're also like, oh my God, like really, it really sticks around. At least for me, it did. And I'm hoping
Yeah,
that everyone else will also really love it. But also again with the album, you start with Lemonade, which is like a really pop song, and then you end with Lucid, wherein I feel like through these songs, you're also telling your story of how you came to accept your voice as an artist. Because I think with the previous two albums, you were still trying to find your voice as Louis Tomlinson, the artist, the solo artist. I think this is your most confident album because you finally know what your voice is like.
absolutely. I agree with that. It definitely took me some time to work out, but also, those the question of who you are as an artist and what your identity is and what your voice is. Um, that's basically a metaphor for you working who you are as a person, So that takes some time as well, and I feel comfortable in my own skin. I love the your depth of thought. I love how much you've thought about the record. It's really sweet.
No,
But you're
because when
right. You're
I'm
right in
going through
everything you
it,
say.
no, because when I was listening to it, I could see a journey there because I felt like,
Mm.
oh, he's telling his story. And by the time you end the album, you're like, okay, he's really confident in what he's saying right now. And I absolutely loved it.
Oh, thank you.
Because I was going back to an interview recently that you did, and you did mention that when you started off as a solo artist, you were scared. Anyone would be
Yeah.
in that position. And
Mm.
to now finally see you a decade later, really being confident in that voice. Louis, congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And that is also part of the title. How did I get here? Because that guy that like first started out, me as a solo artist, like, yeah, I was a bag of nerves. I was so scared about everything, everything. So, it's a very different artist to who I am today, and the songs sound quite different. And, I'm really proud of everything. So, yeah, I really appreciate you saying that.
Absolutely. But also, I want to know from you, is there any pressure that you really feel? Because I don't see you take pressure. Because if you did, then you would have really churned out albums after albums like anyone else would. But you have taken your time to
Hmm.
understand where you are, how you want to really convey and interact with your fans. Uh, how to be that when you know that people out there are constantly comparing, are constantly looking at you and expecting things from you? How do you sort of like balance all of these expectations without losing your voice?
I think it's definitely taken me some time to work all of that out. But the pressure is somewhat inevitable. Like that's just gonna be there regardless. Um, and for me, I think it's more like I still definitely very much feel the pressure. In terms of like expectation, like maybe not so much so. I feel like I've got a different relationship with that idea and what success means to me and all of that. But this job by nature is still very much a pressure cooker. But because of that is why I wanted to take more time. Because once we're under pressure, sometimes we don't make the right choices. Whereas if we can just take a step back a second,
Yeah.
even while within the pressure cooker, that was what this record was about for me, to try and take a step away from the pressure, go to a beautiful place like Costa Rica to do some writing and recording, and just kind of removed that whole element. And even though it was there, and I knew it was there, just trying to trick my brain into thinking, no, let's try and make this in the most tranquil kind of relaxed setting possible. Because creatively, pressure's not good. Pressure, well, it's not always good. Because in that, if you feel like the clock's ticking and you have to have this song written by the end of the day, pressure's not working on your side. So it really helped to have the time and the luxury, I think, this time
What
around.
really inspired you, if I have to say one moment, or in fact, two moments in your career completely, where you were like, how did I get here in a good way? Or perhaps like as an astonishment, what are the two moments, if you could tell me?
There, there was, I'm pretty sure it was a festival. The first ever time I played as a solo artist in a live aspect. So I'd done a few live TV performances. But this was like the first kind of gig, and it was with Steve Aoki at Ultra Festival I think it was in Miami. And so I did no live performance on my own at this point, and I don't know what crowd Steve was playing to the numbers, but it was a sea of people, far too many for your first performance. And I can remember almost in a slightly negative way, looking around, going, "How the fuck did I get here so soon?" Really, like that was a lot. It was a lot of pressure as the first thing, and then probably the opposite end of that was when I played the O2 on the last tour in London. Normally, those big shows,
Hmm.
truthfully or historically, they've kind of beat me. I feel the pressure of the big show. My family and friends will be there, and sometimes that'll get the better of me nerves wise. But that show, for whatever reason, was different. It felt really triumphant, and it was probably the first time I'd had a show that had real pressure in the size of the O2, and I'd felt like I really, really delivered. So that was a moment, more post show, kind of sat in the dressing room, just thinking, wow, like I feel really good about what I've achieved.
You know, can I tell you what is that one moment as someone who has followed your music since One Direction, where I would say, how did I get here? Is when you performed at Lola last year, because I would have
Yes.
never imagined you performing here in India. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some pictures of you from India when you were in
Love
India,
it.
and tell me what can you really think of? Just jog your memory a bit and tell me what is your
Nice.
memory, okay? This because this is on the stage.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's just before I come out on stage, I think. Yeah.
It says India told you so. And I would like to say on behalf of all the fans, we told you so. We would give you the best experience. And
Ah,
we
you
did.
did, you did, you
You
did.
did.
I'll
So,
give you that.
yeah, you were saying. It was really very special for all of us, I have to say. That's why I said we told you so. And I have to ask you, I mean, you are obviously going to be on road post the album releases as well. Although you've not really announced it, but are you also looking at India at some point? Because I have to tell you, fans really have been waiting and they really want to cheer you on here as well.
Yeah, absolutely 1,000% we're looking at it. I can see my manager on me right sweating, but yeah, absolutely. 100%.
Lovely. I'll show you one last picture if you can see it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that looks like me and my other manager. Am I watching Green Day?
Yes, you are. That's
That was
correct.
that was special, you know. I've seen them a couple of times over the years, but I pretty much got to stand in the pit for that. I had an amazing view of it all. That was really one of the bands I listened to a lot growing up, so it was really nostalgic. That was really, really nice. I enjoyed that.
Lovely. And also, I mean, I have to ask you this as a fan, Louis, because I feel collaborations are such a thing right now. Everyone is collaborating, and that's probably one of the best ways to meet different fandoms and connect to
Yeah.
different fandoms. Is there anyone you would like to collaborate with worldwide, anywhere?
I think because it's been such a mission I've been on and a crusade to really kind of craft out my identity and work out who I am as an individual artist. It's not that I'm not really interested in those things because I am. The right thing can be really, really cool, both as a listener, and as an artist for me getting involved and stuff like that. But I had just not really been on my brain, to be honest. It's not something I've really been thinking about too much. And I also, truthfully, I struggle with these questions because like there's a couple of names sometimes that come to mind, and I think I don't know.
Uh,
I get in my own head about it. I think, oh, maybe they wouldn't want to do a song with me or whatever. So I don't know. It's always a hard question to answer.
no, but what I like is that you're embracing new media right now because I remember you talking about your struggle of embracing TikTok. But
Yeah,
but listen, we live in a world where we have to be on social media and we have to
we
be out
do. You're
there.
right.
What is it that you find yourself scrolling perhaps on any given day on TikTok or on Reel right now?
I will say on TikTok, I'm the kind of guy who'll just upload and don't scroll because I still haven't quite accepted that I'm on TikTok. But I do occasionally scroll on Instagram. What am I looking at? Probably like boring stuff like football goals, or what else comes up on my time? Like occasionally cooking videos, actually, because
Oh, wow.
I've been trying to get a bit better at all that stuff. And then probably the rest of my timeline is probably made up of me and One Direction fans because of when I occasionally click on those videos, I suppose.
Do you sometimes get nostalgic? Because I know a lot of fans do.
Yeah, that happens all the time, to be honest. Like, you kind of got to be in the mood for it, but there's often stuff that I might recognize, and then maybe it's a video from back in the day of me and the boys, and it'll just take me back to that place. Then I will find myself watching, and then sometimes you can find yourself in a bit of a loop. You're watching 5 or 6 videos, but that's one of the nice things about being documented so much when you're young. There's definitely there's plenty of stuff out there to reminisce on.
Absolutely, because I understand what you're saying. Sometimes I go in a loop when I'm just watching, and then you can't just
Yeah.
stop. You just cannot stop. But
Yeah,
also, I want to know. Lastly, now, of course, you've already said that you do want to visit India sometime soon. Uh,
of
but also, are you already now working on your next projects? Because I all know that you have some things coming up, of course. But how is the next 2 years going to shape what Louis is going to be like and what we can expect from Louis in terms of music and otherwise as well.
To be honest, I think just because of the nature of the job, well, a bit of that and a bit of the type of person I am, I'm a pretty short-term thinker. I'm an ambitious guy, and might be things that I want to achieve in like 20 years, but what might happen in 2 years' time,
You don't
I
know.
don't I have no idea all I know is that I've got this tour. That's going to take a while, actually. I'm gonna start with Europe and then go to America, and then I've got to get everywhere else too. So that will probably take some time. That will probably take me quite close up to 2 years from now, truthfully. Um, Record comes, I don't know. I'm looking forward to having a little bit of time at some point, in between the tour and in between the album, because I've very much been back to back to back.
Yeah.
I haven't been touring, I've been making an album, so it might be time after this tour just to take, my foot off the gas for 6 months or something like that, but who knows?
Rooting for you always, Louis, and hopefully we'll see you back in India very anytime soon, hopefully. But thank you so
Definitely.
much and all the very best. I hope to hear more from you.
Oh, thank you very much. That was a lovely interview.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bless. Nice one. See you later.
Yeah, bye.